Hey guys, Cher here, and we've come full circle with the songs of 2017. As I've said in the last list, it was easier to find the worst songs. But then when it comes to the best songs, there were a lot. Like, I was so surprised. The difference between last year and then the 2017 list that I had to cover. Because 2016 was pretty easy. This, I kept rearranging my script around just to make sure that every good song should have gotten the credit that it deserves. And that's what I got for you today. I finally have my top 13, and then I have a bunch of honorable mentions that I hope you guys agree with me on. So, without further ado, this is my top 13 best songs of 2017. You know what? I'm just gonna throw this song on here because I can't think of any reasons not to.
I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star.
This song is interesting in the way the lyrics are formed. Back in the old days, the rock and roll lifestyle was considered to be the style that parents wanted their kids to avoid. In today's generation, it's the rap and hip-hop lifestyle that's taken its place. The only thing about this song that I find confusing is that after all the time that this genre has been on the mainstream, like, why is the subject of comparing two genres depending on lifestyle coming up recently? Well, I do have an answer for that. Of sorts. Like the rock genre, the rap genre was also the type of music that was underground for a bit because the mainstream audience wanted nothing to do with the lyrics or sound that the genre produced. Did that stop the people from listening? Absolutely not. As the old saying goes, if you try to keep something hidden, it's gonna get discovered at some point. And boy did rap become mainstream quickly. Of course, this fact is not the only thing that makes a song work. So Post Malone and 21 Savage are both making connections as to what exactly these two different types of stars would do now that they're famous and basically going on tour and they have a lot of money to spend. Well, it was pretty obvious. They mention women, they mention drugs, they mention drinking, they mention other things that we associate with the lifestyle today. And if you guys remember any classic rock hits, they pretty much mentioned the same thing, but then again, they were probably a little bit more hardcore because, let's be honest with ourselves, I think you'd be better off facing a drunk rock star than facing a drunk rapper, especially if that guy raps about carrying guns everywhere he goes. However, if we're going to be honest with ourselves here, the reason why this is being talked about is because rock is not the mainstream anymore. I mean, it still exists. People are still praising Duran Duran, Queen, AC/DC. They're still being praised to this day. But if we're going to talk about what's new, what's hip, what gets blood pumping, it's definitely rap. And just so that you guys are aware, this mentality was never new. Just because rock and rap were almost the first genres to glorify this type of lifestyle, I have no qualms that getting drunk, fucking a lot of women, and doing drugs has been a thing that was not associated with those specific genres in general. Believe it or not, it still could be associated with genres today outside of rock and rap. Why this song is on the list is that this song created awareness for the topic, and I'm kinda glad it exists. It may not be the best thing I've ever heard because of Savage's dull vocal tone.
I've been in the hills, fucking superstars, feeling like a pop star.
But that's why it's at this position instead of higher. So I'm sure sure most of you have looked at the Billboard Hot 100 list. I bet some of you have looked at the year-end list, so you probably know how it works. Based on, like, likes, views, listens, sales, that's how they organize their songs. As I was searching through that list, and I found this entry, only one thing came to my mind. Why the hell was this placed at the 100th slot?
I know we hurt you, made you scared of love, too scared to love.
If anything, this song should be getting greater praise than any of the crap that I put on the worst list of 2017. It's easy to view this song as another Treat You Better by Shawn Mendes, but this song has way more substance than that. It has Keith Urban to be the hero of the story, but instead of having him force you to believe what he says, that's where Carrie Underwood comes in.
What if I fall? I won't let you fall. What if I cry? I'll never make you cry.
See, when you actually have a conversation on what the female listener could be thinking, Keith actually has the answers. Thank the Heavenly Father for having this song actually be a thing in the first place. We all needed it for once. This song is lit and I don't care what you say.
You burn me up, believer.
Whether you like Imagine Dragons or not, you can't tell me that this song is not an earworm. Although I don't consider this a song on haters, and I still don't, this is definitely a comeback song done right. Though I didn't think that Imagine Dragons needed one considering their last album being released only 2 years ago. Regardless, since this is Imagine Dragons we're talking about, I couldn't expect anything less from this band. Their album overall was amazing. But if we're gonna talk about Believer as a single on its own, I don't get why there is so much hate. Yeah, the summer of this year had too many dark songs to even be considered summer jams. But I didn't look at this as a summer jam, but more as an introduction to what else Imagine Dragons had to offer. And they had to offer a lot if you check out Evolve, which I actually did a review of a couple weeks ago. You won't be disappointed. There's only one word that comes to mind when I hear this song and when I think of it.
Damn! I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA.
If you guys are looking for something that's tense but speaks the truth about all the racism that's been going on, Kendrick is your guy. When this man is talking about DNA, he's referring to both successes that his culture has made and all the obstacles that have been tossed into it that go from past to present and possibly the future. Lamar wants to make all of his points known because he wants to prove how ridiculous but true most of these things are. Lamar is saying that his culture has been called things from the criminal activity book to the higher levels of success. But his goal for the future is that his culture will lean more towards the success and getting out of this racist circle that has been spinning around since the dawn of civilization. His goal is to prove to society that he and others are more than just the stereotypes. And surprise, surprise, I actually believe him. If you haven't listened to this song before, I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say his second verse actually makes your head spin more than the first verse. Don't get me wrong, I love this song either way, but that second verse. And I'm just gonna say this once more.
Damn!
What about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers?
I'm not going to go into too much detail with this because I already talked about it a lot on the review of the song itself, which you can find the link in the description box below. We all can expect Pink to come to our rescue when it comes to writing political propaganda for the public, especially since this year has been a stab to my side, and the pain just won't stop. This year, we needed songs that sided with the people who deserve justice, and Pink was one of those artists to give that to us. If anyone is going to call out the president on his BS, it would be this woman.
We are children that need to be loved.
My goddess savior, I am not worthy. Speaking for a need for more political songs. After the messy turnout in 2017, I didn't think that Katy Perry was gonna write something that would almost save her career.
Turn it up, it's your favorite song. Dance, dance, dance to the distortion. Turn it up, keep it on repeat.
Katy Perry uses this song as a wake-up call to those who just want to be oblivious to all the nonsense that has been happening lately. While the last song was more political, and believe me, Change to the Rhythm still is, but this also touches on how we close ourselves off to some of the most obvious problems, like how humans have become more addicted to technology and how things happening in other countries don't seem to matter to us. However, I think my favorite part of this song is Skip Marley's bridge.
It is my desire, break down the walls to connect, inspire. Up in your high place, liars. Time is ticking for the empire. The truth they feed is feeble, as so many times before. The greed of all the people. They stumble and they fumble and then we about to riot. They woke up the lions.
Now that is a rap that ties everything together. Unlike some other things. The lyrics are already interesting enough in their own right, but if you really want to get the full message of this song, I highly suggest that you go watch the music video. Considering this is Katy Perry, it's kind of insane, but it's been very interesting at the same time.
There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are.
Last year, I put Alicia Cara's Here at number 1. Scars to Your Beautiful is not here, but it doesn't need to be. It's still put on this list because it's a song that teaches girls and boys that you should be yourself, and that's when your star will shine the brightest. Those diets and surgeries are going to harm you, so don't put yourself and your wallet on the line just to be like those Photoshop girls on the internet. We need messages like these, especially in today's society. Alicia is making real inspiration songs, unlike a certain somebody. Whoever thinks this song is bad, I think you're crazy. Alicia Cara is one of those artists who is making a statement, and that is what we need. I wouldn't trade this girl for someone else. Not at all. So I finally managed to get to this song, and...
Damn! Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances. Finesse a nigga with some counterfeits, but now I'm counting this.
Okay, I'll confess something. I've heard of Kendrick Lamar in the past, but I wasn't really interested in him until I listened to this. From the beginning, it sounds like it might be a rap brag, but it's really Kendrick rapping about how he's sick and tired of hearing brag songs about their success even though they came from hard times. Rather, they should be humble for the wealth they received for their hard-working efforts. We rarely get songs like this, and whenever it does come up, I think it's a blessing because welcome to the 2010s. We are sick and tired of the bitches and hoes and money and drugs and drinking shtick. We get it. You have money. You're better than the common folk now. Shut up. This song is the anti-brag rap. Kendrick Lamar is making the point that he is not going to be making his mark in the industry by following the stereotypical lazy steps of songwriting. He has been making his mark, especially with his other famous hit, Swimming Pools Drank, which tackles the topic of alcoholism, not your stereotypical party song. It's people like Lamar who helped me get back into rap, and I do hope this continues. Did we have any other songs from this past year that talked about online dating or anything to this extent? Because I don't remember.
Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through.
We are in a new age, and that means a lot of things. One of those things is online dating. Khaled made this song as a way to teach teens to be safe as they're online, because it's easy to make mistakes by talking to people they've never met before. Of course, the biggest point Khaled makes in this song is asking about a place to meet up. Rule number 1 of this online dating thing is to talk about a location and not for someone to wander into a place they don't know. What makes this more interesting is that he is actually coming from the view of a person who wants a relationship, not a one-night stand. That makes this scenario way more relatable. Thank you, Khaled. We needed someone like you this year. This song was gonna be on this list, or so help me, damn it.
I hope you're somewhere praying.
I keep talking about how this song is basically Kesha's rising up like a phoenix because of the Dr. Luke drama. And I think I already talked about what really needed to be said in both the song and the album reviews themselves. But seriously, holy cow, how did Kesha go from this?
Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Hey, what up,
Grab
girl?
my glasses, I'm out the door, I'm gonna hit this city.
To this so fast? Because we get to thank the music gods for finally giving Kesha her own voice. Hallelujah. I am really happy. I told you last year it would be on this list. I told you.
Rockabye, baby, rockabye. I'm gonna rock you, rockabye, baby, don't you cry.
I said this in my top 13 best UK pop songs of 2016 list, but I knew this would be on here. We needed a club song that meant something for once in our lives.
Now she got a 6-year-old, trying to keep him warm.
A song about a mother tending to her child and loving him over everything else? What more could we ask for than that? I didn't think I was going to listen to this song, but as I say, miracles happen. It's been a very long time where I heard a rap song that was actually enjoyable to listen to, not paying attention too much mind to the lyrics. Yeah, it's a female rapper being the top bitch type of song, but hey, I find Cardi B a lot more realistic than Nicki Minaj any day of the week. Cardi B has shown herself as the definition of feminism in the rap genre. We've had a lot of other powerful female rappers in the past, but in today's generation, they're kinda lacking in the mainstream because apparently sexism in rap and hip-hop still exists because you can't become famous unless you have a big fat ass and some juicy tits to show the camera in music videos. Also, if you don't say anything except for what the male artist tells you to do, that's a plus. Cardi B is one of those to change that. She's sitting up on her throne, or standing in this single cover like she doesn't care about what you think. She's not one of those people who will kneel for you and suck your dick. She wants people to be kissing her ass instead, and she has the flows to prove it.
I might just chill in some babe, I might just chill with your boo, I might just spill on your babe, my pussy feel like a lake, he wanna swim with his face, I'm like okay.
I gotta listen to more of her music because I think I'm going to enjoy her a lot more than I think I would. Speaking of enjoying, here are a few honorable mentions before getting to the number one pick.
Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Being so bad got me feeling so good.
Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show. I just want attention, you don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firmo en las paredes de tu laberinto. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, baby. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, baby. Gold jewelry shining so bright, strawberry champagne on us. Lucky for you, that's what I like.
So, we get great songs that tell great stories, important stories. Then we also get great songs that have great instrumental, that's what they're known for. I've noticed that in my life, especially in this day and age, it's pretty rare to get both of them down to the point where they're memorable for both. Last year, I found a song that beats all of that. This is definitely the song of this year that accomplishes both of those elements.
I've been on the low, I've been taking my time. I feel like I'm out of my mind. It feel like my life ain't mine.
And before we actually get into it, I know there's that one part of the song that makes what's supposed to be helpful, in my opinion, less meaningful.
Who can relate? Woo!
And trust me when I'm saying that that alone is not going to stop me from talking about why the rest of the song is so great. For those of you who don't know, I'm really glad to let you know that the title of the song has more significance than you think. That phone number that you see right there is actually the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. This song was actually written for the hotline as a way to tell people who are stuck in a position of very harsh struggle that there are people on the other end of that line who can save them from taking their lives. This song plays in 3 parts. The first part of the song is in the point of view of a person who wants to take their own life because they are stuck in a hopeless position. The second part of the song is in the view of someone on the other side of the National Suicide Prevention Hotline to tell them that there is more to life than the first person knows. They are portraying themselves as the person who will be there when they need them most. Then, the last part of the song is the first person who has found salvation in calling the hotline because he understands now that there is a person out there who actually wants this person to live. Guys, you know I try not to get too political with certain things. Or, I'm not even sure if this is considered even a political argument anymore. It's more of a social humanity argument. Let's get serious. This has been a very, very big problem. Like, the numbers in suicide, they're not really getting much lower. And there are more and more people, even that I know personally, that are heading straight for that track. And as one person, of course I do the best I can to show them that they are loved and that they mean something to this world. And it's songs like this phone number one that make me happy that people are actually trying to get their message out there, to get people to call this hotline that probably not everyone even knows about because they don't really see it that often, or they don't really deliver it out as much as they should. And pop music has definitely been the first step into doing so. And coming from an advocate as myself, please, if you know anyone who's in the danger of hurting themselves, like, talk to them, share that phone number with them. Because one phone call could make a huge difference in their lives. It's important to have as much resource as possible, and especially with what has been happening as far as who to trust and who not to trust these past couple of months. It's really important that even media, especially famous people, understand that this is a problem, and they're doing as much as they can to hopefully dwindle the numbers. So I hope all of you have taken this list with a grain of salt, especially my number one pick. Like, I know I've looked at other top 10s best songs of 2017 lists, and on some lists, that song has only made the honorable mentions, or the song doesn't even make it on the list at all. But I'm really glad that this song does exist. And I hope you can share this message with me. I'm Cait Cher, and I hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's, and promise me that you'll stay safe and you'll treat others with the same amount of respect as those who treat you. I hope you're getting started on your resolutions, because 2018 is going to be a wild ride.